Notice how long it took to talk me into that?
On the beach in Hawaii.
Welcome back. It is Smoking and Toasting, and we are thrilled to be bringing you show number 156. And apologize, by the way, for not being here last week. We like to be dependable.
I was here.
I
wasn't here at 1.
Almost here.
I actually, so funny story about not being here at 1. At noon, they let my wife out of work because she was like, well, it's flooding in my neighborhood, and I need to get there. And so I was on the phone with her the whole time. Of course, she's nervous driving.
Yeah, well,
she has her
terrible.
Bluetooth earpiece, so it's not like she was holding the phone against her head. And I was on the phone with her the whole time, and I was telling her which way to come in, and she did. But there were a couple of parts where, like, I had come through the same way, but the water wasn't up high at that point in time. So I had to kind of navigate her through, and the closest she could get was the freeway by the house. So we had to park the car up by the freeway and walk through waist-deep water to get her home.
Wow.
I walked out to get her and brought her a poncho and her water shoes, so she didn't have to try to walk through all that water with high heels. So.
I was watching some stuff on TV about some of the people in Winnie. Winnie, Texas is kind of between Houston and Beaumont, and it was a really sad story because these people had basically lost their home during Harvey to flooding, and then they finally got it repaired, and now they were completely flooded out again. And it made me think, if you live in Miami or along the Florida coast, or quite frankly, even in Galveston, and the hurricane or the floods come along and they wipe out your house and you rebuild, at least you live on the ocean. You live on the water.
You expect it to some degree.
If you're these poor people that I was seeing, you get wiped out the second time, you still live in Winnie.
Yeah.
That can't be good.
Yeah, I mean, and you don't expect in Winnie to get flooded out either. Right. It's not like you're somewhere that,
right.
You're not right.
You don't have an ocean view. You don't have but you know what? It was tough and all that, but at least we get to watch the sunset over the ocean. No, that doesn't happen. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's horrible.
All right, we're going to drown our sorrows here in a little bit of barley wine. No, I'm sorry, not barley wine. We were talking barley wine during the break.
Barrel-aged Baltic porter.
It's barrel-aged Baltic porter. While Ian is pouring this. Oh, I got to grab some more.
By the way, this smells absolutely amazing. And the bottle, I forgot to show the bottle. The bottle it doesn't have much information on it.
No, you're right. Cycle Brewing, but it doesn't tell us a whole lot, does it?
Very artsy bottle.
Very artsy. I like it.
Yep, it absolutely is. And
it's like blue and white and gray Christmas trees.
And, we haven't actually done a porter in a little while here on the show, so I'm excited about
Not since you banned me from bringing beer.
You're not banned.
Sad
you're just we got to balance you out, brother. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh. It comes out.
It comes out like motor oil.
I'm pouring the next one in front of the camera.
All right, yeah, very good. While he's doing that, I will just mention we were going to talk today.
This.
It was in the original plan today to talk about the rules for drinking bourbon. I think we're definitely going to postpone that to the next week's show because we've had a lot going on here with with rules and regulations of a legal type, and Trey walking us through all of that. And now we're drinking motor oil.
I just moved your camera. Sorry
porter.
about that.
So, yeah. Don't worry. It was just the one on you. So
actually, it was yours. You think it was an accident.
Yeah, okay. Well, so I don't know a whole lot about Cycle Brewing, but I know I have respect for what they've done in the past. And I say in the past. I have respect for what I've known of them up until this time. And they're like so many of the breweries that are out there that, you read a little bit about them. If you get to try one of their beers, you feel like you're a little bit lucky if you're not in their part of the country. And these guys are, I'm trying to remember now where they're from. I usually make notes on this, and for some reason I left that one off. So,
well, I could probably read it.
I bet it's on the bottle, yeah.
They're from Florida.
They are from Florida, thank you.
St. Petersburg, Florida.
St. Petersburg, okay. So they're relatively close to my buddy Dave. I bet he's tried a few of these. But,
they don't have a lot of information on this at all. It just says brewed and bottled by Cycling Brewing.
That's a weird aroma.
It says drink fresh, do not age, which is okay. It's barrel aged, but drink it fresh. Product USA, 1 pint, 16 fluid ounces. There's no other information on this.
Well, it's a Baltic porter.
So now we're going to play the game called Guess the ABV.
Okay.
So, which I don't know unless we look it up. If only there was a device.
I know. If only we could go online somehow and try to figure it out. So I'll do that while you guys give me your initial impressions of the
fig
bourbon.
That's what it is.
Barrel-aged Baltic Porter. So
that tastes like when you eat those Fig Newtons and they're a little bit stale. That's when they're the most delicious.
Oh, so you like them that way?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but when you said that, I am probably one of the only ones that went, I get it. I get it.
Is that weird? What's going on here?
See, I'm getting it's.
Yeah, when they're just a little bit stale and the little crumbly stuff on the outside's just a little on the soft side. I'm
getting a little more pruny flavor.
Yeah, so I can go with that. This is very dark fruit. Let's just go ahead and say that. It's very dark fruit.
Untapped lists this as 10% ABV.
Yeah.
And they also gave it a 4.32 out of 5. So that's
the retro hail
that's
on
a pretty
this
good
is
thing
so
on
good.
On Untapped. So,
it is a dark chocolate bomb on the retro hail. Like it is.
It sure is. You don't get that up front at all. But boy, is it on the finish on the retro hail.
No, and once you taste it, it cannot be untasted. It is.
And that's a good thing, by the way.
There might even be almost a dark cherry tartness in the back of it too. This is
I totally
very
get that.
complex.
You do get that sort of pruny flavor, but then there's a tartness that you don't usually get with that flavor. That's more like a dark cherry. And then on the exhale, the sort of coffee and chocolate on the exhale. Wow.
Yeah, the dark chocolate. I mean, it's a bitter dark chocolate in such a good way. Like when you like the Hershey Special Dark, but you want to try something a little bit darker, so you get those. I don't know,
70%.
Yeah, that's like
I love
this,
those.
and it leaves your mouth a little dry feeling. This also does that.
Oh yeah,
which is weird for how sweet it presents itself up front.
Oh no, I'm gonna tell you what. I think for my palate, you explained it perfectly. It's very pruny that I get on the front end. So you get that little pruny sweetness with the little
bit of tart,
funky pruny flavor. You get that tartness on the back of your tongue as you finish swallowing it, and then the retro hail is very fine 70% cacao dark chocolate. I mean, that's what I get.
It's very much.
So
this is delicious.
I want to point out part of why I love doing this so much and why I find all of this so fun. And by this, I mean the whole concept of getting together with friends, tasting different beers and spirits, talking about what you're finding. Guys, I'm going to challenge you to go back after you've got this on your palate. Go back to the Arran.
I drank all my Arran.
Well, we can fix
we got
that.
a whole bottle of that there, buddy.
But I'm going to tell you, it becomes a totally different experience, or at least it does to me, than what we had before we tasted
considering
the
the flavors,
it's almost like it's a completely different whiskey.
Considering the flavors that we talked about earlier, I can't imagine it not going well with it. What do you think? I haven't tried it yet.
No, it's great, but it is a completely different experience with the whiskey after you've had the beer.
Like it almost doesn't taste like
unusual.
It's from the same distillery or anything. You know?
It's a whole different profile to that whiskey.
It's so interesting because it's funny how your palate will take different things. Like after a few sips of this Baltic Porter, you got so much sweetness and so much of that richness in your mouth. When you taste this, it buries a lot of the caramel. But it brings out a lot of the malt and the mineral and the minerality in it, and the minerality gets even better, I think.
So at 9% on the beer, and this was a fairly 46%, on the Scotch. If I drink,
Makes a hell of a Boilermaker.
Oh, I'm thinking if I drink the Arran with the beer, I might just need a couple of glasses of each, and I'm good.
Oh yeah, that's your night.
Real good.
That's my night.
That's your night.
Now, my problem is I'll be telling all my buddies what I think about them, and that's usually not
Well,
good.
the easiest
but,
thing, no, you only need one beer. Look, guys, I'm just having one.
Well, but again, I just go back to it. That to me is what makes this, if I can call it a hobby, so enjoyable.
It's a lifestyle.
The ability to go through these things and just like enjoy tasting this and going, what do you get? I'm getting this. Oh, yeah, I see that. And then you like are trying how it affects something else, whether it's pairing, the porter with the single malt, or whether it's pairing either one of them with a cigar, or however it works. And with, I continue to think that, even as the world seems to be swirling out there, trying to get us to stop doing all of this for our own good, damn it, we are entering a time where I think the whole concept of pairings, whether it's with food or with cigars, I just think this is where this whole thing is just sort of naturally leading. It's what the whiskey sniff's all about.
Right.
It's about pairing. I think that's what people want to know, because that's where you take your enjoyment of this and you really begin to ramp it up a little bit by pairing it with something else, and the two of them being greater than the sum of their parts.
And it's funny how they interact like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I think if you look at what made this country great was the fact that you had people of different backgrounds, people of different cultures, came together and created a country. And it's that sort of pairing, if you will, of different elements of people's lives that have always made us a great country. And I find it when you sit in a cigar lounge. Think about it. You could sit there and the bank president's on your right, the local lawn guy or the local plumber or the local electrician's on your left, and the great equalizer is that cigar. And it's the pairing of those individuals in a room that draw us back to smoking cigars more so than any addiction to a nicotine fix.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
It's this. And when you look at things like this, taking beer, whiskey, cigars, bringing them together, when you do it in the lifestyle that we're all promoting here, you're doing it generally with a cigar, a lot of times with your buddies. But what we're doing is we're actually pairing people together. And that, to me, is what it's all about. That's where the relaxation comes in.
You do realize the cigars brought us together.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
That's right.
And here's a question. What's better for your health? Do you take every health benefit or deficit from what cigars are? What's better for your health? Going home and sitting around and worrying about what the hell everyone else is doing, or sitting down and having a cigar?
Yeah.
I still remember when my wife, who had known Ian for a number of years longer than I have, when she said, "Hey, there's this friend of mine. I think you really would like to meet him." And I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go. It's another person." So
kind of felt the same way.
I think you'll like him. She says, "He loves cigars." Okay, like
We're in.
Instantly.
Oh no, that automatically makes it better.
Instantly, I knew we'd have something to talk about, right? If he was just completely opposite of me in every way, we had a common denominator that we could enjoy talking about.
Well, your wife brought us together.
That's right. I remember
She
that.
has a friend that is a gentleman I went to high school with.
And he was like working at
one of the offices, doctor's offices or something that she...
Right.
Yes,
he was working
I
as a
remember
nurse
that
at the
now.
doctor's
Right, yeah,
office.
exactly.
He was like, "Oh, you have to meet Trey
You have,
Horn."
it's what she said. "Oh, your husband does a cigar show. You need to know my buddy Trey." And it's really funny how this evil of tobacco builds more fellowship.
Well,
Which
look
is
how
lifestyle.
evil we
That's
can
what.
be
That's why I always
together.
call it lifestyle.
Lifestyle indeed. And you know what? I think that is as good a place as any to end the show. But I wanna just circle back one more time and tell you, Trey, how much we support everything that you're involved in. CigarRightsOfAmerica.org.
.org, yeah.
right.
CigarRights.org is that one.
Be
CigarRights.org.
involved.
Yeah, please do. I mean, I'm just
involved.
as much as I want to encourage you to be involved in Cigars for Warriors. Don't forget, if you're a cigar lover, don't forget about Cigar Rights, because this organization does. There are huge lobbying organizations that are marshaling their efforts to go against your right to smoke a cigar. What do we have on our side? We have Cigar Rights of America.
Yes.
And these people are they're really, really good at it, but they need our support too.
Talk about it in your shops too. This is literally the most political show I think we've had.
But it's important,
Talk about
though,
it. Talk about it in your shops too. Tell people about.
Oh yeah.
These
Grassroots
things.
politics change things.
Yes.
And as a member-driven organization, Cigar Rights of America is the grassroots element of the cigar industry. Just like the NRA is for gun rights, CRA is for your cigars.
There are so many people in your cigar shop that go in there to enjoy a cigar, and this whole side of it isn't even on their radar. And that's okay. But if you make them aware, and you make them aware that this can get taken away at some point.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not a scare tactic. I'm not trying to be that guy, but you know, if you make people aware that they can be involved, a lot of people will.
But support the people that are working on our behalf. That's all I'm trying to say, because the other side has got tons of support.
Yes.
You know, and support Operation Cigars for Warriors. I can't think of a more noble.
1 millionth cigar.
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
Well, help us get to 2 million.
Yeah, let's kick it to
Join
2.
us. Again, cigarsforwarriors.org is that one. You can find us on Facebook as well, Operation Cigars for Warriors. In fact, I want to welcome my Cigars for Warriors family, because my folks at the charity shared our Facebook live feed for us.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
Onto the webpage. So
thank you, guys.
Again, it's, you know, join us. Help us support the military.
Absolutely.
I mean, these folks are out there defending our freedoms, and they're under attack because people want to prevent us from being able to send them a cigar they ask for.
That's crazy. And it's just, you know, look, you want to get involved in something? This is a great thing to get involved in. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I want to be last word here.
All right, I was just going to say, most political show we've ever done, and this would be the first time we've said the words impeachment or Mueller. So you got to love it. You got to love it. We managed to dodge all of that and do a political
Cheers,
show.
guys. If you like the content we're bringing you, please hit like, share our content on Facebook. Go on, if you missed any part of our show, go on YouTube. Be part of our YouTube channel. Hit the little bell. It'll tell you whenever we have new stuff posted up there. So if you miss part of the show, if you're at work, some of you people are at work all the time. I get it.
Yep.
But yeah, do that. Hit like, subscribe to our channel. It only gets better from here, and the more people that get out there and do that, the better off we are as far as getting the word out, as far as bringing you content that you like, talking about beers, or just laughing at us. Any way you want to do it.
We welcome all. And thanks to Adam on the Wheels of Steel, who, by the way, was the only one of us who made it to the office last week during the floods. Have a great week, my friends. Trey, thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Just took a sip of the whiskey, take a sip of that really quick after.